I don't need you in my life. Like, you are not somebody that I need. You're not somebody that has to be there. Like, you are not somebody like my life will.
You like that.
No, but you are not somebody that my life will fall apart. Like, if you're not in it. Like, I want you in my life. Like, I want you to be part of it.
I know.
Like, it's not a fucking need, it's a want. I just want to make that very clear.
I think those are things that we understand.
No, but these are not things that, like, it's like, Nick, I don't need you.
You've made
I don't
that
need
very
you.
clear.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie Yates Anya, Steph Anya for short, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Today we're going to be unpacking everything that we saw unfold between Nick and Annie on Love is Blind Season 9. If you're curious, stay tuned. What's on your mind? Before we get into the video, I want to take a second to thank today's sponsor, which is Beducated. One of the number one things that my couples come to me for is to address issues that they may be having in the bedroom. A lot of times we think we know everything there is to know about sex, but I find that we can never be overly educated about how to please ourselves and how to please our partners. That's why I'm super excited to talk to you about Beducated. Beducated is a one-stop shop for learning about physical intimacy. They have over 150 courses that can teach you more about everything from self-pleasure to kinks to improving emotional intimacy for physical intimacy in your relationship. There are video tutorials, practical exercises, and reliable information, all provided by the world's top experts in intimacy. What's really exciting is that they're running a Black Friday sale, so you can use the code StephAnya65 to get 65% off of a subscription. I have so many couples that come to me at a point in their relationship where they've really lost their excitement for their sex life and their belief even that it's possible to enjoy it again. Beducated is a wonderful tool to help you learn new positions, to learn about different aspects of physical pleasure, to learn about different body parts that you may not even know can increase your pleasure. If you'd like to try Beducated out for yourself, definitely do it during their Black Friday sale, which ends on December 1st of this year for 65% off, and that's only $69 for the year. Use the link in my description box or the coupon code StephAnya65. Now, let's get back into the video. Of course, I have to give a spoiler warning. This will be covering up until episode 11. And also, please keep in mind that I don't know any of these people, so I can't provide diagnoses, and everything that I talk about is speculative based off of an edited show. So we don't see everything, and anything we learn could change our perspectives. With that, let's jump right in. So when you talk about Nick and Annie, this is a couple where both were involved in a love triangle, but what's interesting is that neither one of them was the top choice for a very long time in the process. And so we're going to be talking about Nick and Kate, and we'll also be talking a bit about Annie and Brendan as well. So starting with Nick and Kate. With Nick in general, one of the first things that we see about him, and this is actually played into with the edit as well, is that he comes off a bit disingenuous. He's telling a lot of the girls, "You're my number one," and it's for very faulty reasons. Like, he tells Kate she's his number one because she loves Target.
I want to date a boss lady.
I can't do it.
I love mountain life.
I'm a big mountain girl.
I'm not sure if you heard, I'm the best skier on the mountain. You know, I don't want to overly talk about work, but I buy and sell luxury watches. That gives me a very fluid lifestyle. So I think we have a lot in common. You're definitely jumping to the top of my list.
Like, going to Target, like, just makes me so happy.
Kate, you just jumped to my number one so fast. You have no idea.
We don't really get a lot of context for that comment, but it was just very interesting. And one of the women even says she can tell something is inauthentic. It feels like he's putting on an act.
This is an act. I don't quite believe him.
So this is our first introduction to Nick. We're basically shown that he's kind of telling a lot of the girls the same thing. One of the first things we hear out of his own mouth is that he's dating 16 women and that this is fun.
16 amazing women on the other side, and it's fun.
So whenever somebody says something like that on this show, it always concerns me because I'm like, are you actually here seriously looking for a life partner, or are you just having fun in this process with dating all of these people? Nick also says that people often think that he's a player.
People think I'm a player, and they say, oh, this guy's got a bachelor lifestyle. Like, this guy isn't ready to settle down. But I am.
Which I found to be surprising because just seeing how he even interacts with the women, how he carries himself, I would personally never think he's a player. So that's either one of two things. Typically when I hear people saying that other people view them as a player, either it's because they are or it's because they're delusional about how other people perceive them, which obviously both of those things wouldn't work well in a relationship, and especially not a long-term one. So with Nick, it was one of those things where we just have to see. Now, remember, I have really been complaining all season about how this season was edited. So a lot of things felt very quick, but I don't know exactly how quick they were. I mean, we don't even really see Nick, Kate, Annie. We really don't see them until episode 2. So a lot of things might feel a little more expedited when there are only maybe 4 or 5 episodes that are even dedicated to the pods. But we're seeing by the 3rd episode that Nick is telling Kate that he loves her.
I love you, Kate. I really do mean that. Like, I don't say that lightly. I never have ever before. But I am so in love with you and in love with your soul. And I just have to get that off my chest. Like, I'm out here and I'm putting that out there and I'm saying it right now. Like, I can honestly say that. I'm throwing that out there. Like, I just dropped the L-bomb.
And so Kate, I really respected the fact that she didn't say it back. And she said that to her, this is something that's very serious. And she told him things that she did love about their experiences together, but that she wasn't quite ready to tell him that she loves him.
I told you I'm falling for you too. Like, I love our conversations. I love that we can have serious talks. I love talking intellectually with you. I love goofing around with you. I love talking about our life together. Like, I love that we have so much in common. I love that we were both each other's number one since day one. I love that we both see each other as our perfect matches. We both really care for each other.
I thought that was a very admirable approach to this process because it is quick and there is this expectation that you're going to tell somebody that you love them even if you don't necessarily love them yet. And I think the question a lot of people have is, well, if you're not telling people that you love them, how can you be comfortable getting engaged to them? And I think that in an expedited process like this, I think it does make sense to propose even if you're not in love with the person, as long as you both are being honest about that and saying, we see a lot of potential here. Maybe we'll see the feelings grow into love when we're in the outside world, once we can see each other, once we meet each other's families. I think that's fair. I'm curious about your thoughts on that. Would you feel comfortable with someone going through Love is Blind, proposing without being in love? We have seen that before and we've never really seen it work out well, but I'm curious about your perspectives on that concept in general. One of the most important conversations that we see between Kate and Nick is around spirituality and religion. And what's super interesting about this is that this was one of the few times that we really saw Kate open up. She does talk about being relatively guarded with what she's experienced in life, particularly after being in a relationship with someone for a long time where they ended up cheating on her 3 months after her mother passed.
I was in an 8-year relationship. I was engaged. 3 months after my mom passed, he had cheated on me while I was grieving the loss of my mother.
And so she does say that it is hard for her to open up, but we do see that when Nick asks her about spirituality and religion, we really see her opening up about her experience with losing her mother and how that really made her question God.
After my mom passed, I just remember my brother saying, how could there be a God who would let this happen? And it was so bad. Like, she had tumors popping out of her head everywhere. And she was so tortured by it. I mean, poisoning her body to try to beat it. How could a God exist that would ever let a person go through this?
She considers herself to be spiritual, but not religious.
You religious, Kate?
I would consider myself spiritual, but I'm not super committed to religion, but I'm also not against religion. It just doesn't play like a huge role in my life.
I understand.
Nick says that he really appreciates her sharing that with him.
I respect the hell out of you for telling me that. I really appreciate how deep we can be.
And he says that he has a quiet relationship with God.
I consider myself to have a personal, quiet relationship with God.
These are the things that he is saying, but we do see that this ends up being a major issue. So between this date and the date where he and Kate break up, he has a conversation with Annie, and he's kind of doing a temperature check with her about if she wants to raise her kids Christian.
Can I ask you something too?
Sure.
That's just been on my mind.
Yeah.
Do you want your kids to grow up Christian as well?
I would like that.
They agree about discipline, and they even have a conversation around how they feel if their children were queer. I won't go too deep into that, but I know a lot of us had opinions about that conversation. And I felt that at that moment, Nick was definitely trying to assess if he had more values and alignment with Annie, even though he told Kate that her difference with spirituality was not going to be an issue for him. What I found to be interesting is that even though he just told Kate that he loves her. He goes on to tell Annie, I'm not messing around with you when I say that I could see myself proposing to you.
And I'm not just jerking you around over here, Annie. I could see myself proposing to you.
Annie did tell him that she needed some assurance, and I guess this was his way of providing her with that assurance. But Annie is also skeptical because she says,
I needed that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I really needed that. I'm like having a hard time because I'm like, are you saying it to everybody?
and he says that he's not. He says, I'm very intentional.
I'm intentional. I want to give you that assurance. I'm gonna fight for you. And I'm like damn straight that I'm saying that to you and I mean that.
But the reality is he had been. This is the kind of conversation he was having with Kate.
The person I like the most, hands down, would be Kate right now. I know we have other connections, but I'm gonna fight for Kate.
And he's telling her that she's his number one and that he loves her. So I just thought that these are these moments where we saw Nick just being dishonest, and it doesn't only happen with the girls either. So these are the moments where it's like, do you even remember that you're being filmed and that the stuff you're saying, people can see it? And it does seem like the guys did pick up on that. We even see later on where Joe is like, I don't like this guy.
Dude, Nick is just kind of a guy that, great guy, some might say. I don't fuck with him too much.
People are saying that he's strategic.
There's multiple people that don't like Nick.
No one likes him. Everyone thinks he's calculated. He's fake.
He claims that when he comes back into the room after they get engaged, that he didn't notice that Brendan was sitting at the table.
We're getting married.
Brendan, I'm so sorry, man. I wouldn't have said that. I didn't know you were so.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
I don't know how much I believe that. You know, it just really started getting to a point with Nick where it was kind of like, how much of this is strategy and how much of this is sincere? Which I thought was ironic because one of the compliments that Kate gave him initially is that he's a very sincere person.
I love spending time with Nick. I have never questioned our connection once. He is so sincere. He's so secure within our relationship. I think part of me is just wondering, like, and maybe this is like me being toxic, like, what's wrong? Like, how can you be so perfect?
But of course, she didn't know how in-depth his conversations were going with Annie. After he has that conversation with Annie where they talk a little bit more about their spiritual values, then he comes back and tells Kate, just so you know, I do see the possibility of a future with someone else. I guess this was him trying to hold himself accountable to being honest with her. But Kate, I think, very accurately calls him out and says, well, how can you tell me that you're in love with me and you're telling somebody else that you can see a future with them?
The fact that I can see a future with you and how comforting and secure that feels, but the fact that I can also see that with somebody else. I'm being pulled in two separate directions.
You told me you loved me 2 days ago.
I know.
Especially in this expedited process. Maybe if it's like the real world and you've been like talking to somebody on one app and reconnecting with somebody from your childhood in another setting, over time you've realized that you have strong feelings for both of them. I think that makes sense, but I agree with Kate that if you're going to tell her that you love her, I think at that point you should have narrowed it down. It's 10 days. If you're able to fall in love with 2 people in less than 10 days, I find that to be a bit alarming. And Kate tells him that she feels like he was love bombing her.
You should know that you're the only person I've said that to.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, if you said I love you to 2 separate people in these pods, that's not love. You could say I like you, I love spending time with you, but you don't say I love you unless you truly love someone for life.
100%.
I think you just said that so fast. It felt a lot like love bombing.
Which I tend to agree with because the way that Nick was approaching this whole process seemed strategic. He would say the exact same things to her and to Annie, like, I'm going to fight for you.
You're my person. Will you let me fight for you?
Absolutely. That's hot.
I'm gonna fight for you, Kate.
I want to give you that assurance. I'm gonna fight for you. And I'm like damn straight that I'm saying that to you and I mean that.
Like, why are you saying that? He tells Kate that she is the only person that he said, I love you to, which is true. We didn't see him tell Annie that he loves her, but what is the difference? If the process is about finding your wife and you're telling another woman you can see yourself proposing to her, at that point, what you say about being in love is, in my opinion, sort of null and void. I'm curious about your perspectives on that, but I thought that Kate was absolutely right to call him out for telling her that she loves him and then telling someone else that he could see himself proposing. Then he asked her if she's open to reconnecting on her relationship with God, and she's like, no.
Being that you would be such an important part of my life, do you think that you would be open to exploring your relationship with God or with religion?
Probably not. I have never been a religious person.
Never been a religious person. Are you kidding me? Never been a religious person. Are you serious right now?
What she told him originally is that she doesn't have a problem with people being religious, but that she is not religious. And Nick took that to mean that she has been religious in the past or had a relationship with God in the past, but after what happened with her mother, she doesn't feel that same way.
I said, I don't believe that after this, I don't believe a God exists.
You did not say never.
I mean, one could assume.
After this implies the before. Are you kidding me?
You knew that was not me.
Kate is saying, no, I was making it clear that I am not a religious person. I could see how there would be some misunderstanding there if Nick was saying, you said that after this, so that means that before you had a relationship. So it could have just been a misunderstanding, but I do believe that for Nick to go from saying that he loves Kate and he wants to marry her.
When I love somebody, you're gonna have my love for life. I'm not just gonna take it away and play with that in a very silly way.
Change to the end by I have love for you. You know, that's a totally different connotation. Then ending it.
I have love for you. I really do, but I just don't know if it's the kind of love that could get us through. But I just can't go through with this.
I know that for her, that felt like whiplash, even though it was very frustrating to watch. At the same time, that was one of those situations where like, I know it hurts right now, but trust me, from what we're seeing, you are better off. I don't think that they would have worked in the real world with what she's needing versus what he's needing. Now, while Nick and Kate were establishing their bond, we had Annie and Brendan who were also establishing their bond. And I think if you really pay attention to these earliest pod dates with Annie and Brendan, a lot of the issues that we saw in the real world between her and Nick, the tendency for that was already existent in her relationship with Brendan. She tells him, just like she told Nick, that she needs a lot of assurance, which, boy, that was definitely an understatement.
Apparently I need some reassurance.
I know. I just told you, yes.
I know. Listen, I have assured you pretty well today.
Have I not done the same?
He says in a frustrated voice.
The thing with Annie is she seems very unable to really process, digest, and accept assurance and reassurance. If she has a thought in her mind, there's really nothing you can say that would challenge that. What we see from Annie is a cognitive distortion called mind reading, where you assume you know what a person is thinking or what they're saying with very limited evidence. And so what we see with her and Brendan is that she tells him she needs assurance. And from what I saw, it seemed like Brendan was trying to provide her with that assurance.
I've been very sure about us.
If you feel so sure, then why are you asking me?
I'm sitting here asking you, what's our house gonna look like? What color door do you want? I don't care. You could have fucking said lime green. I don't care. It's what you want.
He let her know that he wanted to marry her. He asked her about what future she saw with them, and she told him that she wants him to tell her about the future that he sees with her. He does try.
I think I need from you to really tell me, what is our life gonna be like? I think that's what I really need.
Yeah. We're gonna travel. I wanna go everywhere with you.
Me too.
What if we didn't want to do a damn thing and we said we're gonna stay in pajama or whatever, your big t-shirt, and we're just gonna watch some TV or a movie in bed, have a lazy day around the house.
At the same time, I could tell that Brendan was getting nervous as well as exasperated with trying to convince her that he did want to be with her.
What are you feeling though?
I'm feeling you. I'm about you.
See, that's the first time you've done that to me all day.
He could feel that he was losing her, even without clarity on who else she was talking to at the time.
I was just really thinking today, what if I were to lose you? It's a very weird thought to think about the possibility of maybe you don't choose me.
He tells her how badly he wants to be with her, and I think what Annie wanted to hear specifically was hear from him that he loves her. She told him she doesn't want to be the one to say I love you first.
Brendan, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna tell you I love you through the wall at some point.
I know.
Don't make me say it first though.
Don't even worry.
And I don't want to be that girl that has to propose to her man either.
He was taking that into consideration. He brought her a gift, and he was saying that he was about to let her know that he is in love with her.
Yesterday, you told me you feel like you can see yourself saying that you love me here in the pods, and I better not make you say it first. And I was coming in here with that in mind. I told you I was hooked. I told you I was all in. I mean what I say.
But it was after the date where Nick told her,
Truly, just my heart's exploding right now. I do love you, Annie. I can say that. I'm throwing that L word out there. I love you.
Nick, I love you.
Aww.
This is one of those things where a lot of times we're looking for that immediate gratification, because I think that Annie really did feel a stronger connection with Brendan. Again, that's speculative. I can't really say that for sure, but she did say that Brendan was her number one.
I really like Nick. You can tell like he wants to be funny. Like that's who he is. He's hilarious. But Brendan is my top choice. I've been really happy. I've been giddy. I've been at ease like this whole time. Not that I have like a disagreement or something like with my other one, but like we don't see eye to eye on everything. With you, everything is literally like the perfect marriage with my perfect human and my perfect husband.
Up until Nick told her that he could see himself proposing. So is she just basing it off the fact of who wants her the most? Or are you basing it off of who you feel you have the strongest connection with, giving them the 10 days to be able to be sure about their words, not just saying something to appease you, but saying it because they mean it? It really became like a race. Brendan was like, I was about to tell you that I love you. She's like, well, I didn't have to wait for Nick to choose me.
I want someone who's always gonna choose me.
You didn't ask me.
I didn't have to ask Nick to. He chose me.
But the thing is that you weren't even Nick's top for such a long time, and I don't even know if she knew that. Nick did tell her that he had another connection. I'm not sure if it was clear to her that she wasn't his first choice or not, but he did tell her that he had another connection. He just so happened to let her know before Brendan that he could see himself proposing to her. Meanwhile, he was still going to a date after that, letting Kate know that he's in love with her and still loves her. Annie felt a lot of hesitation from Brendan that I wasn't sure was warranted, but maybe there are a lot of dates that we didn't see, because he doesn't seem to disagree with her about the fact that he wasn't being very forthcoming.
You're so like reassuring.
Took a minute to get there today. I won't lie. I know. I'm sorry.
So maybe there is a lot that we didn't see, but for the dates that we did see, it seemed like he was trying to make it clear that she was his number one. And when she ends things with him, he seems very disturbed by that, very bothered. And he's letting all the guys know that he feels like she's slipping through his fingers. He really wanted that future with her. He does come back on another date and tries to let her know, I want to be with you. I believe I can provide you with the life that you want.
I still love you. I know you have Nick, and that pains me, to be quite honest with you, because I just never saw that coming. And respectfully, in the most respectful way, it's me who can give you that life.
A lot of what they talked about, though, it was superficial in that we're talking about vacations, we're talking about what color do you want the trim of the house, but maybe we're not talking about our deepest secrets or our experiences in childhood. And Annie does tell him, you know, I feel like we don't have deep conversations because we don't have to. And he's like, is that a bad thing?
Talk to me.
We don't really have serious conversations.
You don't think we have serious conversations?
I don't feel like we've ever had to.
So wait, do you mean that's good or bad? I'm confused.
I think that conversation with Nick was deep in that they were talking about their children and their spiritual beliefs and those kind of things. So I could see if she felt that Nick was probing more about what their life would look like together. I think that makes a lot of sense. But I think that if that's the case, just say that. Say, I'm not sure if our values align because we haven't had enough conversations that would let me know that. Instead, she's just saying, you haven't made it clear that you want me. You're not reassuring me. When I think that really wasn't the problem. I definitely think that Brendan was trying to reassure her, but she was not able to really accept what he was saying. Now let's talk all about Nick and Annie in the pods. My frustration with them is that it seemed like early on, even though as we see they did get to some of these more important, deeper conversations, the conversations were extremely sexual, and I felt like that was led by Annie. And I've talked about this in my first impressions video, which is I feel that this season people were very, very comfortable just talking about sex before they really got to the substance of the relationship. Annie was letting him know everything that she finds sexy and that everything turns her on.
Everything turns me on. Everything's sexy. I'm like, you want to hold my hand? Sexy. You want to come like hop in the shower with me? Sexy. You want to like touch the back of my neck while I'm making coffee in the morning? Sexy. You want to put your hand across my back while we're out grocery shopping? Sexy. Like, you want to come to my salon and help me like clean up after work and we like lock the door? Sexy.
She goes on to tell him that her carpet is wet.
Is that carpet still wet over there?
Listen,
Is it getting drier or wetter? Is it like a
no,
towel?
it is soaked. Like it's a problem.
Of course, these things are going to be very enticing for anyone who has a high sex drive. It's great to be able to see if we've got that sexual chemistry or compatibility, but I do believe that there are other elements that are more important to focus on if you're talking about getting married. If we're talking about our ideal hookup, yeah, let's focus on that. But if we're talking about a life together, there are more important things to focus on when you only have 10 days to really get to know somebody to decide if you want to be engaged to them. You could see that Annie really had a strong fantasy for what she wanted her life to look like. She was going to be with anybody who was willing to give her that as soon as possible. She made jokes that I don't think were jokes, like,
I just need to give you a hug.
I just need to get engaged. No, I'm just kidding.
you're dead serious. You just want to get engaged to whoever is willing to give you that first. The very first date that Nick has with Annie after he ends it with Kate, he tells her that he's sure that she's the one.
I know you are the one. Like, it's no longer I think, or it might. It's like, I'm choosing you.
And he tells her that he loves her. He says, I'm putting that L word out there.
I do love you, Annie. I can say that. I'm throwing that L word out there. I love you.
After you just told Kate, I haven't told anybody else this, and it's magically the next day, or maybe it's even that evening, you're comfortable telling Annie that you're in love with her. The feelings are shallow. The feelings are superficial. They come and go as you please. You share things in a way to get what you want. So at this point, his focus is on being able to be with Annie over Brenton, and so he is using the tactics he can, like saying I love you and things, to narrow it down. This is just my perspective on it. When you start out with so much dishonesty and you see it playing out over time, it is challenging to really believe what someone is saying. They have a run-of-the-mill proposal. I personally was uncomfortable with how much Nick was using baby.
Oh, I can't wait to see you, baby.
I'm so excited.
Baby, you're my fiance. Baby, let's go! Bye, baby.
Only because a very short amount of time ago, she wasn't even your number one.
Got you, babe. I love being able to call you babe. You're my baby. You're my baby, Kate.
You my baby boo.
You were literally telling somebody that I haven't even told her I love her, but now you love her, you're sure she's your baby, and it just felt so inconsistent. That was just my feeling. I'm curious if you guys had similar feelings or if that was something that didn't bother you at all. And then they have their reveal, which is our typical run-of-the-mill reveal, but where we really start seeing things going awry with Nick and Annie is when they're in Mexico. After they meet up with all of the other couples, Nick lets Annie know that all of the guys were talking about their uncertainty and how crazy this process is, and Annie is telling Kim, you know, I don't care about what anybody else is feeling like.
Feel if you were to say right now, could you say yes? And every single guy there was like, I'm not sure. But it was more so about, you know, like just taking the time to explore
Yeah,
that.
but that's not my thing. Like,
No,
I don't
get that.
care like what everybody else says. Like, I don't have to feel like what everybody else feels.
She starts getting very, very worked up about the fact that she feels that she loves Nick more than he loves her.
I feel like where we're at right now is a really good place. Tomorrow, we're going to go back to the real world and we're going to start living together. And I'm saying I'm excited to do that with you.
It just sucks because I feel like I'm all in and like you're not.
And the thing about Annie is that she just before said she's worried that she's going to self-sabotage and ruin the relationship.
Like, I could be married tomorrow and be happy. But I always get nervous that it's like I'm going to be the one that like it up.
That means that she has an awareness about the thoughts that could get her in trouble in a relationship. Now, we have to admit that she definitely seemed like she was under the influence or really tired. But, you know, that's also why when you're in a relationship and you're needing to have a tough conversation, you want to make sure that the atmosphere is as conducive to healthy communication as possible. You don't want to be in a loud environment. You don't want to be too tired for it. You don't want to be under the influence. You don't want to be hungry. These are basic things that you want to attend to that can affect the success of this conversation. So this was probably just not a time to have it. And it seemed like Nick was trying to say, all right, let's focus on something else. I don't think we should even be having this conversation. Let's go to bed. I think we're tired.
Never doubt how much I love you. All right? We'll have a good sleep. We'll rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
They don't get it. Yeah, and you're like, oh yeah, tomorrow's a new day. So just like sleep it off. Cool, thank you.
Annie seemed to be getting triggered by him even saying that. I thought was super interesting was Annie's response to Nick being, I don't need you, I want you.
Think you'll ever be there with me?
Too.
But it's like, it feels like you're not meeting me right now. I don't need you in my life. Like, you are not somebody that I need. You're not somebody that has to be there. Like, you are not somebody
I'm not
like my
trying to
life
treat
will.
you like that.
No, but you are not somebody that my life will fall apart. Like, if you're not in it, I want you in my life. Like, I want you to be part of it. Okay? Like, it's not a fucking need, it's a want. I just want to make that very clear.
I think those are things that we understand.
No, but these are not things that like Nick, I don't need you.
You've made
I don't
that
need
very
you.
clear.
I don't need you, I want you. And this is where I started feeling a little bit more confident saying that it seemed like Annie was dealing with having an insecure attachment. And I don't know if it's an insecure attachment style or just an insecure attachment in this relationship, but she definitely showed signs of being anxious avoidant. And the reason I say that is because she was so anxious about Nick loving her and getting that assurance and being chosen. But at the same time, the way she's dealing with that is by pulling away, saying, I don't need you. And he's like, why are you telling me that? That's her trying to reclaim some power and some autonomy and control over the situation by self-soothing by saying, I don't need this person. They don't have to love me. They don't have to want me. I don't need them. But when you communicate that out loud, what is that other person supposed to do with that information? And it did take me back to Brendan trying to assure her and her basically saying, you're not choosing me. You don't want me. Those were our earliest signs that Annie had a hard time actually accepting the information being presented to her. And when we talk about that mind reading cognitive distortion, this is something that I see with my couples all of the time. Their partner might say something and they're like, oh my gosh, you don't mean that. Why are you saying that? And this person might be just opening up for the first time about something that they've never felt comfortable sharing with their partner, but the partner feels like they've got it all figured out. They know everything about the situation and there's really nothing that they could say that would change their mind. At that point, you're having a conversation with yourself. So why even engage with the other person, because there's nothing they could say that would change your opinion about how they really feel. With that anxious avoidant attachment style, she's scared that she needs him too much, so she's pushing him away. For Annie to even be in a position where she loves him so much that she has to keep saying like, I love you so much, so much.
I still love you. Like, I'm not sure that you're understanding.
I love
like,
you too.
I fucking love the out of you.
And I'm right there with you. All right.
No, because you're the one that doesn't think that you love me as much as I love you.
Putting those words in my mouth, I did
You
not
literally,
say those
that's literally what
words.
you said.
Literally what I said, I did not say those words.
And it's been this short period of time where for most of that time, Nick wasn't even her number one. That lets me know that she clings on to people very quickly and intensely. That shows us the anxious side. But that wanting to establish that distance by saying, I don't need you, that's the part that seemed a bit avoidant. Keep in mind with attachment styles, we're on a spectrum, and I would definitely say based off what we saw that Annie leans way more towards anxious than she does avoidant. What we saw consistently with Annie is her questioning if she is worthy of the relationship and Nick's time. So what we see, for example, when they go and look at Nick's home, you can see all of these hobbies he has, all of these things that he loves to do, and Annie's takeaway is, okay, we live far apart, and basically she's asking, am I worth him losing all of this to be with me?
I understand what it's like to like work so hard for something that you've like wanted for so long. And I just like don't want to ever ask you to like give that up.
Just because I don't like love being in the hustle and bustle of the city doesn't mean that I wouldn't be down there with you, because it makes the times that I come up here more special. So it's not a bad thing.
And Nick is trying to provide her with assurance, like, I'm excited about us having a life where we could live in this place and this place. I don't mind coming to the city and being with you. But Annie just is not confident that she is worth that level of sacrifice, or that he will continue to believe that she is worth that sacrifice. She ultimately thinks that he'd want his house more than he would want her. So we can see here where Annie might struggle with some confidence. She does tell us early on that she has been cheated on. She was in a relationship where she looked in her partner's phone and she saw that he'd been talking to over 20 women. So she says that she has trust issues.
Like, I do have trust issues. I had this boyfriend that I was like convinced I was gonna marry. I had our kids named, our house picked out, my ring picked out, like I was done. So I went to go get in bed one night and his phone was laying on the bed. I opened it and it wasn't one girl, it wasn't two girls, like it was like 20.
And that is understandable that she's experienced that level of trauma and it has impacted her. What I don't like about this season is that we don't really learn a lot about people's families because they expedited the pods process and focused so much on the triangles and the drama within the relationships that we don't really learn about these people as a whole. So I would love to know more about what Annie experienced in childhood or who she dated. And maybe it's that both guys that she talked to really didn't ask her a lot of questions about that, or maybe it just never made it to the final edit. So I don't know if Annie has other reasons to have these insecurities outside of that relationship where she got cheated on, but that is some backstory that we got on her. I always think it's so interesting when they meet the parents and the parents are like, I absolutely love this person for you.
Knowing Nick the way we raised him and all that, I knew too that you'd be pretty awesome. Yeah. Yep, he's got good taste.
And I'm just like, what about that interaction would really make you just love this person so much for your child, especially with this expedited process? But for the most part, we rarely see the family saying that they don't want their kid to move forward in the relationship. I don't know if they don't want to look bad on TV or if they're like also desperate for their kid to finally get married or if they want grandkids. I don't know what it is, but that always surprises me. But I did think it was interesting the warnings that Nick's mom was giving Annie about how, you know, he doesn't always express his feelings.
He's so sensitive and always wants to fix things. I mean, he hates conflict. You always got to kind of scratch off the surfaces to find out if something is bothering him.
But I always appreciate when the parents or family members are honest about some of their family members' flaws to help better equip that person that they're with. Then we get to another argument in the real world that looks like the argument they had in Mexico, where Annie is telling Nick, you know, you just don't love me.
Come here. More, please. That you don't love me as much as I want you to, like.
So you think I don't love you as much as you want me to love you? I took 5 hours or so out of my work day to put everything on the back burner just to help you get caught up in your work and be there at your salon and help you and
like,
love you.
Okay, like amazing.
So what more do you want from me?
You know, maybe in Mexico, I was thinking it could be the fact that he did say that he had some uncertainty. He was telling her what the guys had been saying, but she is at this point just making up her mind about how Nick feels, no matter what he says to the contrary. I mean, he's like, how can you say I don't love you when I literally adjusted my schedule to help you at your shop? He's like, it just really concerns me if you can really truly believe this based off of no evidence.
I need you to like be happy here, like in this moment with me.
I'm happy. I'm here. I'm in this moment with you. What more do you want?
I just, I love you. And I like want to make sure that you love me too.
I do love you, and if you can't see that, that's concerning.
And that's what a cognitive distortion is. A cognitive distortion is where your perspective on a situation is distorted despite evidence or lack thereof. And so in this situation, we can see that Annie is very dead set on the fact that she loves Nick more than he loves her, something that really is not even quantifiable. This is not a tangible thing that we can measure, yet Annie chooses to just believe that she loves him more, and she almost uses the phrase I love you like a weapon. She just keeps saying it. I love you. I love you. He's like, I love you too.
I love you.
I love you too.
I love you so much. Like, I would literally give up everything for you. I want you to be here with me. Like, be happy.
I'm here with you too.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
I was like, babe, I love you.
Well,
That was so dumb.
what's dumb?
How much I love you. Like, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I love you. I love you too. Almost like she's waiting for him to admit that he doesn't love her. Really interesting to watch their interactions because Nick is so confused about what he could possibly say that would reassure her. He made a commitment to providing her with reassurance. He said he's okay with giving her reassurance, but it gets to a point where it's very exhausting. And if you're at a point where you're trying to decide, can I marry this person? Am I prepared to argue with them all the time about whether or not I love them? It gets to a point where I could see anybody getting tired of that cycle. Once again, it seems like Annie is under the influence, so it's very hard to say, but at the same time, I expect if they were married, there'd be more opportunities where she'd be drinking or she'd be tired, and who knows how many of these conversations they had off camera as well. Nick does decide to end things with her, and it's so interesting to see how Annie begs him to stay. She just can't understand why he wouldn't want to stay with her, and she even tells him that she thinks he's going to regret this decision.
I think you'll look back and regret this.
This is where we really see that anxious attachment style showing itself, because if you truly are questioning if he loves you or how much he loves you, why would you be so adamant about him staying? At that point, it's not about him as much as it is about losing that dream of having a person, having someone to make you feel chosen and feel loved. It's not necessarily about him. It's about losing that dream and holding on to it. She just doesn't want to be abandoned or rejected, even if it's for the best. If you truly are questioning at this point if he even loves you, why would you beg for him to stay?
I'm saying no. And that's a decision that only I can make. I'm choosing what's right for me.
Try now, because this is where we're at. Like, get out of your head and just like be in this and like love me, and like it's amazing.
I do love you.
Please.
And it's so interesting how she thinks that she can just tell him it is not over and that he's just going to accept that. He's like, you can't tell me that it's not over.
Fundamentally disagreeing, and like this is where I think we do have to stop.
No. Nick,
if
no.
you can't tell me to stand up there and marry you.
I thought that was so interesting how, again, how unwilling she was to just accept reality. She was very deluded to whatever her perspective on reality was. And even in this moment where she is being broken up with, she refused to accept that that is what was happening, because that's not what she wanted to be happening. And so I truly don't think that Annie was ready for marriage. Maybe she is now. I don't know what's been going on with her since, but I don't think that she was ready for marriage, because being in a healthy marriage is not just about being able to love someone, but it's also about being able to accept, receive, and believe another person's love. Sometimes when we are in such a wounded place, we are uncomfortable with really being loved on. We're uncomfortable with someone being there for us. We question everything because we don't want to be hurt, and we think that if we stay on alert, we can protect ourselves. But the reality is, whether you stay on alert or not, it's going to hurt if that person leaves. So you might as well just open yourself up to it. And if you're not prepared to do that, you're not prepared to be in a long-term relationship, because that is required. That vulnerability, the risk of possibly getting hurt, is required to actually let someone in. And I can't really say anything about Nick's readiness either, because with Nick, I could never fully trust what he was saying or doing. I don't know if he would have said yes at the altar if Annie hadn't made him feel like there was no way that he could prove to her that he loves her. I really don't know. Like his mom said, he holds his feelings close to him, so I can't confidently say how Nick was feeling, because I don't think we really got to see it. So those are my thoughts on Nick and Annie. I'd love to know what your thoughts are as well. I ask that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and please share it with anyone who might find it entertaining or educational. Thanks again to Beducated. If you'd like to try them out for yourself, use the link in my description box or use the coupon code StephAnya65. I appreciate you for watching this video all the way until the end. You didn't have to, but the fact that you did helps me out so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you.